Good morning, how you guys doing? This Mike back with the thought of the day on April 30th, 2024. First, I want to give honor and praise to the Elohim of Israel for giving me the strength and the wisdom to bring you this message. Then I like to open with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not mine, be done. Today, man, I gotta pay tribute to my boy, man, Brian Coleman, who as we know in this basketball community, he passed away yesterday. And it hit me hard, man, because once I transformed away from the basketball game full time, he was by far the closest person that I met in the basketball game that I had a relationship with. Me and B talked about every day up until he got real sick, and at least 3-4 times a week. And over these last 12 years, we got to know each other and it became a real serious bond, man. I love the brother, and a lot of some of the points that I wanted to talk about with him was the brother that I knew and grown to know. One thing about B that I really appreciated was his dedication to his family, man. He loved his wife, his sons and daughter, and the relationship he had with his mom before she passed on. B, even when he was going through his illness, used to go pick up his mom every day, man, and take her to her doctor's appointments and take her around for her errands. And I used to be on the phone with him while he was in the car with his mom, man, and he riding around making sure his mom go here, his mom go there, man. The work ethic and the work ethic he had for his mom, and the compassion he had for her, and the love that he had for his father, saying that his father raised him a certain kind of way, and to be able to go out and work and do what you need to do, man. B was a real caring dude, man, and my heart goes out to his wife, man, and I know, like, I understand how she felt me losing a spouse before. I understand. And you know what I mean? I'm here for her and her sons, man. Momo, and her daughter, who B always let me know was real seriously into the Most High, man. I hope I get a chance to talk to him one day and we could talk about the Most High. B also loved his players, man. He always talked about how Eli Carter was the foundation of sports shoe, man. He always give Eli Carter love. And some other names he liked to mention was Hollis Cook, Lucky Jones, Tamron Smith, those guys that were the foundation of sports shoe and Izod and his relationship he had with them at St. Anthony's, man. And he just was a throwback dude that's rare now, because this game, it's a lot of people that's in it. I ain't gonna say a lot because I'm not trying to judge people, but everybody not in it for the best intentions. And to lose somebody who truly loved the kids hurt me, man, because some of the conversations we talked about, he demonstrated how much he loved the kids, man. He would talk about how he wanted to prepare the kids for once they get drafted, to understand that it's sharks out there that knew that these kids only had earning potential up to like 5 years before many of them left the league. So they was going to try to take these kids' money in different ways. And he wanted them to be conscious and educated on how to protect themselves, man. He was worried about these kids' lives after basketball when the ball stopped bouncing, man. And we talked a lot about that. He made me understand that the role I played in this entitled culture, and had me really looking at some of the decisions I made that helped me go repent for some of the decisions that I made in terms of giving too much exposure, or just making people feel like they was better than what they really was, and how that caused kids to get big heads, and trying to set up ways to make them understand to practice more humility. And he was one of the only people that, when I had debates with, I'd get off the phone and hear really had me thinking. You know what I'm saying? And he loved coaching the underdog kids after Nazi and and Nazi and Atiba and Javon and them graduated. His next group, which was his son and them, and that he started coaching with, and Tahad and them was in 7th grade, I think, and he had Aaron Bradshaw and those guys. And I remember seeing the joy in his eye as he grinded them up to become a good team. That's the part of the game he loved. I love seeing him in battles with some of the top directors. When him and Munch used to go at it at my tournaments, or him and Keith Stevens used to go at it at my tournaments, and seeing the chess match that they used to play and the joy that he had in that. And on our level of friendship, when I made my transition into sobriety and becoming an Israelite, that's all I wanted to talk about. And he never judged me. He sat and listened, and he let me know that alcoholism had hit his family when he was young, and that the effect it had, and he gave me props for my determination to do what I needed to do. And we talked all the time, and I could talk. And he sat there and listened, man. He never told me, man, don't talk to me about God, don't talk to me about recovery. He sat and he talked, and he was taking in a lot of the stuff that I was telling him, man. Because in this game, you see that once you're not useful to people, in terms of a lot of relationships died in my life once kids got to 9th grade. Their parents that I thought was cool, the phone call stopped, everything stopped, this and that, because you're not needed no more. P wasn't like that. When I stayed away from basketball, when I went away from basketball, our relationship actually got tighter. And another thing I want to give him props for, he never tried to sell me his son. He never tried to tell me how good Momo was, this and this, blah, blah, blah. He never even mentioned that his son was nice and played and this and that. I just was writing about him. And then when Momo got his video and put it up, B called me and was told me that how happy his son was. And he was like, bro, like, I appreciate the fact that you didn't give him nothing, that he really earned it. And that's what's going to help him later on. And he never once called me on the phone when his son was in middle school and tried to sell me that how good his son was, or his son wasn't getting this, his son wasn't getting that. We never had that conversation before. And I appreciated that about him, man. It was real. This is what it was. And the ill part about it is, our relationship didn't start off like this. It started off with him calling me, trying to bully me into coming to the tournament free, or getting some particular schedule or something. And I ain't really know who he was. He was on the high school level. And Reg, who was coaching the team at the time, after me and B had words, we both called Reg, like, who is this dude? And Reg told both of us, man, y'all just alike. One day, bro, when y'all meet each other and be cool, y'all gonna be tight. And he was right. As soon as we started talking to each other, we just grew tight, and the relationship just went to another level, man. And he always talked about how he didn't need nothing from these kids because he already been through that life with being in the music industry and doing all of that. So this was his way of giving back, and how he just wanted the kids to be successful in life, man. And he loved his family, and he loved those kids that a lot of people wouldn't take on their team. He wanted to take those kind of kids and build them up to something different, like a kid like Massanet, Roderick Massanet, and he I think that's his name, and he took him, and he wanted to make sure this kid got to college. This kid had went to mad different schools, man. You know what I'm saying? The Massanet kid from Trenton area, Fran's nephew, Roderick Massanet. He wanted him to make sure he made it in life, man. And when that kid called him, when the Massanet kid called him and told him that he did his thing in college, man, I was on the phone with B, and to hear the joy in his voice, because those are the type of kids that he really was in this for, that he really wanted to help. Those kids that everybody else rolled off, and he saw something in them, man. That's a testament to this brother, and I'm so happy that I had a chance to bring him on my platform and be my first person that I interviewed. Nobody else could ever say they had my first interview, and I wanted him to be able to tell his story like everybody else's, and that's part of the reason I did the podcast, to get people to be able to tell their stories, man. this is a special dude, man. I'm a miss him. I shed my tears yesterday. I gotta push on. I made sure I went to my meeting and shared about him and told people how I was feeling. And I knew that me and him had countless conversations about the Most High, about Christ. So I'm confident that he knew who Christ was and he turned his life over from the conversations that me and him had, man. He never judged me from being an Israelite. We went over doctrines together. He understood where I was coming from, and I'm always gonna love him and appreciate him for that, man. And just wanted to just talk about my boy, man, and who he was and how much he meant to me, man. And I'm gonna miss him dearly, man. I love you, B, man. Peace to everybody out there. Shalom, man.